Hey there, glad you're here. A few housekeeping matters to attend to before we get into the next episode. We just got back from our family trip to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which we managed to record an episode live on location from the Smokies. There's no way we could be in the mountains without watching the 1988 classic, The Great Outdoors. So we give our takes on that. We're also talking about how much or how little we're playing Call of Duty at the moment, checking in on the newly released College Football 27, and addressing what could have been with Corbin Bleu if only he had a different agent. We had a lot of fun with this one. Check it out if you haven't already. And we had a lot of fun with the trip at large, but let's just say we came back home with a souvenir we did not want. On our final night in Tennessee, I came down with some nasty stomach bug. You may want to skip ahead if you get nauseous easy. This bug had me hurling violently. I felt like I was Ryan Reynolds in that scene from the movie Life. If you know the scene, you know. We initially thought it was a matter of me eating something that didn't agree with my stomach or some kind of sun poisoning, if you will, but lo and behold, my fam is going down one by one. It's a tough beat when the littles get it, but good thing is it's a rather quick mover and we're getting through it as best we can. Fortunately, timing was about as good as you can ask for, as no one else got sick until we finally made it back home. That would have been a disaster to have everyone sick on that long drive home. I didn't even mention the hellscape that we had returned to here in Ohio. We got back and the air quality was at 200 AQI, which is a record, if I'm not mistaken. It really did look like the iconic zombies map Kino der Toten from Black Ops 1. Lastly, as for the schedule, we will have back-to-back uploads this weekend. This episode you're listening to right now, of course, and then another one uploading tomorrow night, as there's a ton going on right now in gaming, and we have a lot to talk about. Now that we got that out of the way, here's what we have in store for you on this episode. My good pal Colt and I cry on each other's shoulders as we mourn the death of physical media, as PlayStation has recently announced that disc will be no more by 2028. But we pick each other up by the bootstraps and we look ahead to the light on the hill, that is Halo Campaign Evolved. We did record this earlier in the month, so we will have to have Colt back on for his review of Campaign Evolved, as it will be here in 10 more days, if you can believe that. And I like to think that the audio is a bit better this go around. Hey, we're learning. We'll get there. All right, enough of me meandering. Sit back and welcome back to The Last Booth. Okay, I got Colt here. Colt, we're burning the midnight oil.
We sure are. It is fully dark outside.
Yeah, quarter till midnight. I mean, we are literally about to burn the midnight oil.
Yeah.
So thanks for swinging over, making this happen so we can get the upload here on time. We're excited to get it out. But we got some big news today that I want to talk about. We're less than a month until we have Halo, a new Halo title.
Oh, yes.
New-ish, as we talked about before.
New-ish.
Yeah. And, but anyways, before we get into that, I was trying at my darnest here not to let the cat out of the bag. A couple things here. It was announced earlier today, today's July 1st, I was on X discussing film. One of the accounts I follow mentioned PlayStation is ending production of physical game disc for all new games starting January 2028.
Really?
Wow. I mean, we knew this was coming.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. The writing has been on the wall for a long time now. But, wow. That kind of ends an era, doesn't it?
It really does. And that's just seeing your reaction, hearing your reaction. That was my exact reaction. It was like a punch in the gut.
I grew up without the internet. For many, many years, I just did not have internet. So all of my gaming was all physical discs, all storyline games. And, that's kind of how I fell in love with gaming. But
yeah,
that's just, I can't imagine anybody who still lives out in the boonies like I did on how that's going to impact them.
Right. It's a different world. It's a different generation. It's a different time. Charzelle was on earlier. We talked a little bit about this. And what's interesting is we're having this conversation as to what we were talking more so in the vein of streaming with creators, influencers.
Mm-hmm.
We have some of these influencers and content creators who've been playing Minecraft for 15 plus years. It's going to look a little weird, if you're in your late 30s and your 40s still playing Minecraft and so forth. I mean, there's going to be some questions, when most of your audience, your demographic is about a third of your age. But now we get this news. And on top of that, here's a couple things. This was reported by The Verge. Xbox, so not PlayStation, but Xbox, is working on a disc to digital feature that will allow players to get digital copies of their physical games.
Did you? Okay.
So all this is happening. All these people are shattering our childhoods.
That is interesting.
in 24 hours. All right, one more for you, Colt. Xbox's next-gen hardware, Project Helix, you've heard of this, I'm sure, is not expected to include a disk drive. That's reported by IGN Windows Central.
I mean, when they came out with these new consoles and they did a 50-50 split and they made obviously the disk drive was more expensive, but I knew this was coming. I mean, it was the writing on the wall. That's just amazing.
And, now that it's here, it is evident. We knew, as you had mentioned, this day was coming, but it still feels so fast.
It does.
And I mentioned before that we jumped on the pod here that, it may get a little emotional. I'm a little emotional now just because this is strange. I'm not used to this digital. I don't know how to feel, Cole.
Having a bookcase in the background just filled with your collection of physical copies is just so iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, now that's just not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Well, there is this. Did you know that GTA 6 is going to release a quote unquote physical copy? It's a box with a code in it.
Yeah, I did hear about this, and I believe Charzelle and we talked about this. I may have brought that up.
Did you?
And just seeing some of the memes of, what do you mean it's just a box? I want the disc. It's great. There's a lot of memes, but yeah, for a lot of us older folks, we're struggling, or at least I'm struggling with this. But wanted to give you the news there about that. Yeah, we're just sitting here for all the listeners here. Probably not too many of you yet. Hopefully we can get that number up. But yeah, we're, that's a somber note. Hopefully, moving on towards the rest of the podcast, we got some less somber note, but maybe not, because I had seen on X, there was another account that I follow here, and I'm not going to be able to give you a credit here just because I don't have it pulled up in front of me. But what I had seen on the X post, this was a few days ago, so not too terribly long ago. It says, Halo campaign evolved. Now it's priced, the standard edition is $50, $49.99.
Yeah.
The premium is $69.99, $70. But it has no multiplayer, no custom games, no Forge, no firefight, no theater. What is going on?
Just don't remind. And another thing people are mad about. So these cosmetics that you'll be able to get in the game, you're not even going to be able to see them half the time. Now, I'll give them this. They added in a skull in the game that puts you into a third-person view, which is actually pretty cool. I think it's pretty neat. And that'll allow you to see yourself, but unfortunately, unlike other Halo games, these are pre-rendered cutscenes. So whatever you are currently wearing, whatever weapon you currently have, is not going to be shown in the cutscene. And most of the time, you're just not going to see it. So I do have to ask, what's the point in making it?
If you can't see it, I don't know. Maybe it's it's there, and that's enough.
Now, it is a 4-player campaign.
That is cool.
They did expand it to 4-player. So
4-player on a couch, from what I've heard.
Yes.
However,
have you heard the news around what is required in order to play co-op?
Okay, that was another thing I was going to get into, because there was a report. I believe it said that you had to have a PlayStation Plus account.
Yes.
I'm an Xbox guy, so I'm trying to get the verbiage right.
Your person that you are bringing in with you for your co-op also has to have an account. Now, there's been a little bit of back and forth, so I don't really know what is truth right now on whether you... Originally, I heard the other account had to have PlayStation Plus as well, both accounts, in order to play side-by-side couch co-op, which a lot of people were up in arms about, of course.
Yeah.
But they have since gone back and I believe said that the second account doesn't require PlayStation Plus, but you do need to have an actual account. No more of this old guest accounts like back in the day.
Yeah, right. And I'm just trying to look it up now. I think you're right. There was some, Culture Crave on X had posted on if this was a week or two ago. Both accounts will need to have PlayStation Plus and be linked to a Microsoft account. Having these active PlayStation Plus subscriptions will also provide access to online co-op play. But then Halo posted later that day, we incorrectly stated that PlayStation Plus is required for local co-op split screen play. Local split screen co-op requires a PlayStation account for each player, but does not require a PlayStation Plus account. So big difference there. But I'm glad they clarified that. But that is something not to shake a stick at there with the 4-player co-op. That is really cool. And that is, for a co-op campaign, that's really neat. But then you have to ask yourself, the fact that it doesn't have all those things that I'd mentioned, that extensive laundry list, it's quite a lot of cache.
That's questionable longevity of this game, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially since you're going to have a community split with people that cherish this game, hold it like a holy grail,
Right.
Any little thing you change is going to be looked at under a microscope.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I'll be honest, though. I've seen quite a few things that I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
A lot of new weapons are coming in. You'll be able to use the energy sword now.
Yeah.
Which is nice. You weren't even able to pick up the energy sword in Halo CE, if you weren't aware of that.
No, was not aware of that.
Could not use it whatsoever.
Okay, so that's
really cool.
changed.
One thing I wanted to hit was the prequel missions. They'd recently shown a trailer of a few things from the prequel missions. Sergeant Johnson's voice. They did not get the original voice actor back. I can't believe that. Now, I don't know what the circumstances are. Maybe they couldn't. But, man, that is just so unfortunate. That is an iconic voice. And it, unfortunately, what makes it worse is it seems like they're almost using him as, like, cheap comedy. They're giving him, they're writing cheap lines, just using him whenever for a quick little quip. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Well, I will say this. I remember seeing the trailer. This was a part of Xbox Showcase, if I'm not mistaken. That was the first time I seen the actual trailer for it. And Sergeant Johnson, I didn't notice a difference, but I noticed that he was talking a lot in the trailer. Chief doesn't talk at all until the very last line. And I had my brother Steve on it, and we had talked about this. But it was, they were building that moment up for Chief at the very end. So I get that. But there was too much Sergeant Johnson, and I love Sergeant Johnson. Yeah. He's an iconic character. But there was just too much. And he was, I don't know, did we talk about this, or was I'm getting this mixed up here? But it just seemed like now Sergeant Johnson is a meme of himself.
I don't think we talked about this, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I said, it just feels like they're using him for comedic relief, and
yeah,
he was that badass sergeant that got stuff done, who would throw in a comedic line at the key moments,
right?
When it really just, it would hit right. But they are just line here, line there, line here, line there, and it makes it cheapens the experience.
It does. And it really does.
The voice actor, he is given, I will say, he's doing a good job. I can tell he's trying, but that's also kind of the problem. I can tell he's trying. He's trying to be Johnson. He's just getting there.
It's not as organic.
Now, there are a couple lines, though, that he does that he hits that old Johnson feel.
Yeah.
But overall.
Yeah. I just remember the trailer, just, the environment, the setting, it looks incredible. And, you're seeing all this and that, and, they're throwing the kitchen sink at us, the viewer, but there's zinger after zinger from Sergeant Johnson. And I'm trying to focus, I'm trying to, decide, okay, do I get my hopes up? Do I buy into this? Because I don't want to get let down again. But here's Sergeant Johnson in the corner with another zinger, with another one. And it's like, oh my goodness, what are we doing here? All right, while you're talking there, I Googled it here. Halo Sergeant Johnson voice actor. The first article that comes up is from Fathom Journal. And the headline goes, "The new Halo Sergeant Johnson voice just ain't it."
Yeah, it just ain't.
That is such a great headline. But I did, because full transparency here for the listener, we did mention a little bit about how we want to talk about this because you brought this to my attention that it's not the same voice actor, which, I got to look it up. I wonder who is
Staten, I believe, is the original voice actor.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Might be remembering that wrong,
But I did see that they do have Stephen Downs, for Chief.
Yeah.
And, oh my goodness, I'm always butchering her name. Jen Taylor, not Jen Taylor, is it? Jen Taylor for Cortana? Yeah, Jen Taylor. She's back. At least we got those two. But the fact that, Sergeant Johnson, that's, he's second fiddle to Master Chief and Cortana, but still, it's a big name.
It is. I mean, that's just as iconic as Chief, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Sergeant Johnson was, he was like Chief's brother throughout the game. He had that feel. He was somebody who always had his back when he needed it most. That's why, Halo 3, the ending of Halo 3, when Sergeant Johnson dies, that's a big moment. It's rare for Chief to, I guess, kind of take the time to console and be there for other members who are dying.
Yeah.
Because, he's got a job to do. He's got a mission to fulfill. But that moment, he took the time to get down on eye level with him and have that moment with Johnson. It just showed such a level of brotherhood.
Right. So the original voice actor, my hands decided to work and my brain started to work as well, and we were able to figure this out. David Scully was the voice of the original Sergeant Johnson. Keston John is the new voice actor. And there seems to be, as you had mentioned, moments where it's like, okay, I can see it, but it's tough. It reminds me of the new Modern Warfare series for Call of Duty, where they had a certain voice actor for the iconic Captain Price, and then for the current gen titles or iteration of Modern Warfare, they have an entirely new voice actor, a much younger voice actor. And you can tell he's got his own, not interpretation, but twist he puts on it. But he still pays tribute to the original Captain Price. And he does a fairly good job as far as I'm
Sometimes
concerned.
I would say that's better. Sometimes it's better for a new voice actor coming in to kind of put their own flair, their own mix into it to make it their own while still trying to stay true to the original. Because sometimes if you try to copy the original too much, it just kind of falls flat and it feels like you're copying. So sometimes having your own flavor, definitely, it can be better. But when you build up a familiarity with a certain voice and that all of a sudden changes, people can be shocked.
I'm just looking here, just doing a quick search through Reddit here. Seeing from some of the comments I heard, Scully has been MIA since the OG games. He has not voice acted since 2013. No one knows what happened exactly, but Steve Downs has insinuated that he simply chose to retire. And apparently he's British.
Fair enough.
Halo Wars 2 had Johnson as DLC, but at that time there was a voice actor strike. They ended up having a different voice actor to do the role. And that was for Halo Wars 2. Yes, there were reports, rumors at the time that he wasn't happy about being recast, which led to his decision to retire early. Okay, so there was a voice actor strike. It sounds like he got recasted at that time. Halo Wars 2, when was that?
Yes.
That was
Halo Wars
15 years ago?
Yeah, that came out right before Halo Infinite. Between Halo 5 and Halo Infinite is when Halo Wars 2 came out. And yeah, he came out for a DLC in that game.
2017, but it really wasn't the OG Johnson, because there were reports, rumors at the time that he wasn't happy about being recast, which led to his decision to retire early. But this is based on nothing from what I'm seeing here. Timing of his retirement may have simply been coincidental, but full transparency, this is just a quick thread on Reddit. I don't know why people would make that up, but there's been characters who've done that kind of thing before, but who knows? That would be a shame if that was indeed the case, but nonetheless, here we are with a different voice actor, and there's glimpses where it's close, but it's noticeable that it's not.
Yes.
And here's the thing. I mean, they would just absolutely get roasted if they tried to recast Chief and Cortana.
Oh, it would.
But it would make more sense if you have somebody like if you have a new Sergeant Johnson, then just bring in a whole new cast. But again, they would just get burned at the stake if they tried to do that.
Yeah. Until those two retire, it would be catastrophic for them to change those voices.
And here's another thing. Steve and Jen, I refer to them on a first name basis as if I know them. I don't know them personally. That'd be cool if I get to meet them. But they're kind of they go to these conventions, they go to these different events, and they're together, and it's really adorable. It's really cute.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I'm happy for it.
Especially when they're at a panel and people ask them to, say certain lines from the game. And they get in character for a moment, and it's really neat to see.
It reminds me of seeing the cast of Star Wars that would get year after year trots out on the big stages of these big conventions, and you have all the iconic actors and actresses and so forth. And now we're getting to that point with Halo. I mean, Star Wars is what? I mean, its first one was 1977, I think, so close to over 50 years, and Halo is, as far as the games are concerned, at least. But first one was what was it? CE? Was that 2000, 2001, 2002? No, Halo 2 was 2002.
Yeah, I think it was 2000.
No, Halo 2 was 2004. So it was, it would have been close to 2000. But anyways, we're getting to that point. It's 25 years in the making. Now, have you pre-ordered this?
No.
I haven't either.
Now, so in my older age, I have gotten away from pre-orders in general, just because I need to know what I'm buying before I buy it.
Right.
I cannot be too frivolous with my money to just throw it at something for brand recognition.
Yeah.
Even though I love Halo and, I'm obsessed with the story of Halo.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Until I know it's going to be, I'm confident enough that it's going to be a good game, which I'll be honest, there's a lot that I've seen that it's got my hopes up, Now, there are things here and there, like not a big fan of Sprint and, all that. And we don't have to get into that. But overall, I would say it looks like a really fun game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, a bunch of YouTubers have been able to actually demo the game.
Okay.
So they've been going through, they have access to certain skulls and stuff and going through playing it. So I've been watching some gameplay, and a lot of the AI is from Reach, which a lot of people kind of are iffy about Reach. I loved Reach. I think Reach is a really good game. Yeah. I love the feel of the elites in Reach.
Yeah.
So I feel like me personally, I will enjoy the feel of the gameplay of this.
I didn't know about that. That's an interesting tidbit there.
Yep.
It is, in terms of the, you had mentioned that as big of a Halo fan as you are, you're kind of standoffish on pre-ordering just because you may have got bit at different points. That was where I was at last fall, because you had Battlefield, the newest Battlefield 6, if I'm not mistaken. I've already forgotten the title on which one we're on, but I pre-ordered it because of the marketing, the promotion. It's like, wow, this is going to be the COD killer. This is the game, because they had the now late Vince Zampella, who was working on some of those iconic Call of Duty titles, like Modern Warfare 2, which is my favorite. It's a lot of the community's favorite COD title. It's between that and Black Ops 2 for which one's the best. But anyways, Battlefield, Vince Zampella joined EA, right? EA, not Respawn, EA.
Correct.
He joined them last few years, and this was their shot. They were going to go after Call of Duty. This was the year 2025, mind you, that they were going to take the throne. And it had a lot of good word of mouth. The campaign was atrocious.
Was it?
It was so bad. And that is, that's my first taste of the game. And then I'm going into multiplayer, and it seemed like, there was some good stats. There was quite a bit of people playing, and, they had broken their own records, but then it wasn't sustainable. It had a massive, massive drop off.
Unfortunately, I feel like FPSs have just kind of ran away from campaigns. Their main focus just seems to be multiplayer most of the time. I can't remember. I can't remember the last Call of Duty that I actually enjoyed the campaign of. Probably Black Ops 2.
Black Ops, yeah, that was 2012, Colt. It was almost 15 years ago.
I mean, I played Ghost. I played Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
And, they were fun in their own way.
Yeah.
They mixed it up here and there, but I don't know. It just it felt like just a generic Hollywood story, I guess.
Yeah. And going back to your point and I was piggybacking off of this, was, if I would have just waited a little bit longer, I would have found out that, oh yeah, this campaign for Battlefield 6 is nothing burger. You'll be disappointed. And the multiplayer is fine, but maybe wait for a trial of some sort. Just give it a little bit of time before I pre-ordered. And I think that was at least $70 that I spent, and I played it, for the first several weeks, and then that's it.
I've ridden too many hype trains off the cliff.
Yeah. Where now you're sitting back, you're going to get some feedback before you make your decision. And then that's where I'm headed. But let's talk about the release window for Halo. Interesting release date. Do you know when they decided on that release date? Has that been?
I have been hearing rumors of this release date since a couple months ago.
Yeah, when did they announce that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when they officially announced. I predicted that they would have an earlier release than their initial release date because it conflicted with GTA 6. And I think, as we all know, GTA 6 will be a killer for any game coming out around that time. It will be the biggest competitor.
Yeah. Oh, there is a new Halo game that's announced for the end of 2026 as well.
Really?
It's a board game.
No.
That's from Polygon. But anyways, I just had to throw that in there.
I didn't hear about
I
it.
had to Josh with you. But from what I'm seeing here, Halo Campaign Evolved launches July 28th. Pre-orders available now. That's from Xbox Wire. That was 3 weeks ago. So it was about a month ago that we first learned it. Maybe there were some rumors, but that's when they officially announced it from what I can see here. Yeah, that was, all this was happening very quickly, but I know that's not the typical release window for a Halo title or for any of these AAA titles.
Right.
But I like that just because of how much is happening here in the fall. You got to think, we got a new Gears title. Which I say new, it's a prequel. But nonetheless, I'm very excited about that. We haven't had a Gears title in, 4 or 5 years?
Too long.
Yeah. So we have that, and then that's a fully fledged Gears title. Then we have, as you had mentioned, GTA. Everyone's waiting for that one.
Oh, yeah.
Have you pre-ordered that one?
No.
I think, what was that? Is $100? Maybe not that much.
$80 for the standard edition, as far as I'm aware.
That number doesn't sound real. $80? Yeah. Wow. Is for the special one.
I've been really waiting to hear the price point for GTA 6 because I am sure it will kind of set a new precedent for the new generations of games coming out.
Yeah.
When one kind of takes that leap to a higher price point, others tend to kind of follow.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's where we're at as well. I tend to agree with you. But Gears, GTA, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 4. I'm looking forward to that one. I know that it's the reception from what I've seen. Other podcasts have talked about. I follow T-Dog Smitty's podcast, Going Dark. And, some of the feedback that they were getting was that there's a port for Black Ops 2. We mentioned Black Ops 2. There was a port for Black Ops 1 and 2 for PlayStation 5. That's coming out soon. And there's more buzz about that than for the newest Call of Duty title. So that just tells you where Call of Duty's at. But you got all these titles. And I was saying this to my brother Steve, that, for the Xbox Showcase, we had Gears, we had Halo, we had Call of Duty. I mean, these are massive AAA titles all in one showcase. I don't think we're going to have too many more showcases where we're going to have all three of those iconic franchises having a title come out the same year.
No.
So for Halo to say, hey, we're going to get in front of this and we're going to drop our game at the end of July, I think that's the right move.
I think so too.
I think they might take flack. Oh, Halo's scared of some of these other folks, but I think Call of Duty's coming out. That's mid-October. I think Gears. Let me look here. Gears is it September or August? I'm looking now. Got to pull it up. Gears is October as well. So Gears and Call of Duty are in October, and then you have GTA.
And I do have to wonder.
Oh, I'm sorry, Colt. It looks like GTA just got pushed back again.
Again?
I'm just kidding. That would be the funniest thing.
Oh, Chris, I believed you.
How many times did it get pushed back?
I believed you. I want you to know that.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be shocking, right? If it got pushed back again.
It really would.
How many times did it? I mean, it was at least a handful.
Too many.
Too many. So it is slated for November 19th of this year, but for Halo to come out. Well, let's take a look at Halo Infinite. I'm sorry. This kind of stuff fascinates me. December 8th. Okay, I do remember Halo Infinite being a little bit later, but typically it's that, Q4, and for them to just, I think it's the right move. Again, they might take a lot of flack, but at the end of the day, it's going to give these people, it allows for some separation from some of these other games.
I also really appreciate a July release because it is the 7th month. And I don't know if you know this, but Halo has always had an obsession with the number 7.
I didn't know this.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I know 117, of course.
Actually, there's a lot of really biblical references in Halo if you really dig into it. But particularly the number 7, we'll have to go over it sometime. I'll have to bring up a video for you where it condenses down everything. A lot of their marketing when they released things. A lot of it was just built around the number 7. Bungie had an obsession with the number 7. So
interesting.
With this being released on the 7th month, I can respect that.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe I'm curious to know whether, I mean, that has to be intentional, right?
I would assume.
Maybe it's coincidence. Okay, we talked about the game itself. Okay, so we talked about the fact that it doesn't have multiplayer. What is the plan? Are they going to be adding multiplayer to this at some point?
It doesn't look like it now. I think it would be a shame if they didn't. I really feel like this game would actually have a lot more longevity if it had a multiplayer. I think a lot of people will want to jump in and play with each other besides just the campaign, even though it does look like there's going to be a lot of mixing to do. A lot of new skulls that completely change things up. However, what I've heard is they might be making a new game for Halo multiplayer to come out soon, hot on the heels of this release. Maybe not quite this year, but early next year-ish.
So you're saying there's another title?
It's what I've heard. All just rumors for now.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Yeah, that would kind of make sense. I forget what it's called. It was codename Project Ecker, I believe. Of course, if anybody watches Hidden Xperia, his videos, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. He covers this.
Yeah, Collider had an article a week ago. Halo officially returns next month with a highly anticipated new release.
Now,
we can argue about semantics there.
Are you familiar with the weapon that they showcased in the prequel missions that everybody was really excited to see? It is called the Stanchion.
Okay.
So it is this gauze sniper rifle that has been in Halo's lore ever since the beginning, essentially. It's been in there for a long time. We've wanted to see it for such a long time. And that's the rifle they have Johnson using specifically.
Okay.
Everybody saw it, got really excited. Finally, we have the Stanchion.
Right.
And then they told everybody we weren't going to be able to use it.
You got to be kidding me.
We can't use it. We can't use it. And the excuse that they made was it's Johnson's personal weapon. He doesn't like handing it out.
You can't be serious.
I just don't get some of the decisions they make. I really don't.
That's putting it very nicely.
On top of that, the armor that they made for Chief, the old set of armor, I cannot remember the specific version that it is. I love it. Beautiful set of freaking armor. Everybody thinks it's an awesome set of armor. You can't use it past the prequel missions. They won't let you use it. They made bright pink Blamite skin and a Spartan skin and what's that orange drink that
was for
starts with an F.
Fanta.
Fanta.
Yeah.
That's it. I had a brain fart.
Yeah.
They made a colored skin for that. But the skin you already have made, you won't let us use? I don't.
What do you mean? What do you mean you can't use it after the prequel missions?
So that's what Chief will look like in the prequel missions. But past that point, you can't access that skin.
Are you referring to like the 3 new missions?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Compared to, it just doesn't make any sense because you can, for example, like the Blamite skin, you can apply that and run through the entire campaign with it. I don't understand. It's a weird decision. And also, I'll go back to this point as well. I kind of mentioned this before, how they've yet again reused the Marine skins from Halo Infinite instead of remaking the Halo CE design for them, which, I could take either or. I personally don't care that much. There are a few people that would much prefer the original Marine design. However, then you look at Johnson, and he's the original CE design. He doesn't look like Halo 2 Johnson or Halo 3 Johnson, how he's he's developed a look. And they remade his Halo CE design. I just like the really thick mustache, the more squarish head. I just don't understand. So you won't remake Marine skins, but you're going to remake Johnson when people, I'm sure, would much prefer if you just used regular familiar Johnson. I don't know. Just seems like a weird decision to me.
Yeah. And you kind of wonder how these decisions are made. Yeah. Well, we do have our concerns, but we're still holding out hope.
Overall, I'm still very excited.
Yeah. It's just neat that we have a new quotation marks here Halo title to look forward to, and it's not that far away. So hopefully the reviews are good and we can get our hands around this. One thing I did want to mention, anything you want to add about the game that we haven't talked about?
One last thing for that. I don't know if you realize this, Chris, but this is the first time that we've had a Halo game, again, not new, but new Halo game with Flood.
Okay.
We haven't had Flood since Halo 3, not counting Halo Wars. Of course.
Yeah.
Which was an iconic part of it, if the biggest part of Halo. I mean, that is the existential threat in the Halo universe is the Flood. So it'll be exciting to play a new game with a revamped Flood.
We really haven't had the Flood in a Halo title, with the exception of Halo Wars, since Halo 3. Halo 3 was 2007, so that's 20 years next year. We've wild. Been
starving for Flood. And they've kind of redid some of the sound design. They've added this new kind of face hugger screech to them.
Okay.
Which I'm a fan of. I think it's really cool. They seem like they understand the horror aspect of it. And it gets my blood.
You got to lean into it.
I see it.
That'll be fun if they do end up leaning into that. Okay. Yeah, it's just going to be interesting with this. It's something. It's not nothing. It's certainly something. But what's next? It seems like there's something else in the works. Maybe this is a stopgap, if for lack of a better term, to wet our palate until the next one. But who knows when that's going to be. Overall
strategy that I think they're using, in all honesty, I think they're going back and they're remaking these trilogies, or this trilogy, to understand what made Halo Halo, while still trying to add in newer features and newer aspects that are going to draw people in and people still like. So I think they're using this as kind of a case study to understand what we want and what the newer generation wants and how to properly blend that and make it work, because it hasn't been working, obviously. And I think they're going to keep us kind of happy with a multiplayer game here and there
Yeah.
the time being until they make their new Halo game.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. I mean, I want to play a new Halo multiplayer.
I
We
do.
haven't.
I do.
I mean, it's Infinite was 5 years ago.
And I will say this, Chris, I am really excited. There's a lot of people, especially the older generation, who is familiar with Halo, who doesn't necessarily, they don't play games, a lot of the newer games, like even Helldivers 2, for example.
Yeah.
I've got an older friend, he's in his 40s, who doesn't even play that, but he is excited for the Halo CE remake, and he's going to play it. And that kind of gives me an opportunity to bring some friends back into the fold and have some fun again.
Yeah, that's good to hear that he's interested, and asking about. That's good. Okay. All right. Well, stay tuned. I mean, today's July 2nd as we're taping now. I mean, that's coming out July 28th. Is that right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So that is not far from now at all. I mean, the fall, the winter time, I mean, there's just so much happening.
It's exciting time.
And not that it's not all that different with the summer, but just having that separation window, I think that's ultimately going to be big for them. But moving on, I did see something that I wanted to share with you. So GameStop posted on their X account earlier today, a GameStop customer in Columbus, Ohio, this was earlier today, traded his old Xbox 360 collection for over $1,000 in store credit. Left with new PS5 games. Very happy.
Wow.
I'm showing a picture of it. There's a couple pictures. Oh, here's his receipt.
Now, I've got to say, they gave him $1,000 for that.
Yeah.
For all those games that I'm seeing.
This is a new GameStop because the GameStop that we grew up with would have probably gave him $10.
All right. I'll be generous.
Yeah.
Maybe $50.
Maybe $50.
Maybe $50. But those are towers. I mean, I'm seeing like 4 or 5 towers.
Yeah, at least.
To each other.
10. It looks like 10 towers of 10 games.
I mean, you can imagine.
Games.
Let's be honest. We know how we are. We bought those games as soon as they came out at full price.
Look at his face. He already knows he's going to get screwed so bad. Like, why are you there? He probably can't sell him. He's thinking, hey, I'm going to cut my losses here. I got to get rid of. There's got to be some kind of story behind that. But that just made me smile.
At least he got something out of it.
Yeah, GameStop, their X account is, they have some wild posts from time to time. I'm trying to think of, I'm scrolling here, but they will make fun of themselves because it's well known that they're cheap and that they will shortchange you, not shortchange you, but they're just going to give you a bad deal, but they will actually post about it and they'll poke fun at themselves.
Well, at least they're self-aware.
Self-aware, yeah.
You can always appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't find it right now, but they do it from time to time. I get a kick out of it. Anyways, all right. So we talked about Halo. We talked about the end of physical media. Essentially,
yeah,
that's we're still reeling from that.
That's an era. That is an era shift.
Yeah, it really is, and. So, I mean, these new consoles, as we learned with Project Helix, it is interesting that all this news is coming out today of all days, like on a random Wednesday before the holiday. Maybe they expected to get a little bit of negative press about it, but I think they, typically, some of these, studios that they'll make these announcements, even if it's not going to be, a fan favorite, they'll do it. I mean, this is typically how it's done. This is the playbook. Release it right before the holiday where most people are out of the office, they're traveling and so forth. This is how you do it. So I think they expected some kind of negative press about it.
Speaking of new consoles, have you seen the Steam Machine?
No, I've heard of it though.
Okay, well, they somewhat recently, I believe, did I don't know if it was a demo necessarily. They were showcasing it. And they came out with an official price point, and it's somewhere like just over $1,000.
Did I hear about this?
Now,
maybe not.
It's really cool. You'll be able to play some Steam games. Ideally, you'll be able to play those type of games that you wouldn't get on console.
Right.
However, I've heard reports that it kind of operates on the low end of things. with certain games, certain FPS results from custom testing, were a little lackluster in certain departments, especially anything that was like 4K, like ray tracing requirements type stuff.
Yeah.
Could not handle. But we'll see when it actually releases and it gets out there in people's hands, and you can upgrade it from what I've seen.
Okay.
So, there's benefits to that.
Is that it right there?
That's it.
Thank you. It looks very similar to Xbox Series X.
They
not as tall.
Are also, I foresee this, mark my words now, they make cases for those. They showcased I believe it was this little health cube from Portal, and essentially it just slips right over the console itself.
Okay.
I foresee a lot of custom cases and potentially a new market there for it.
Yeah. The price points from what I'm seeing, this is from Gameverse on their X account. This was about a week or so ago for the 512 gigabyte Steam machine, a little over $1,000, and Steam machine with 2 terabyte, it was a little over $1,300.
Mm-hmm.
The first comment is, how is the Steam machine the weakest and cost the most? Just goes to your point there. Yeah, but I ultimately think, we talked about the end of physical media. This is the next step. Like, you're going to have this integration where, not only are you limited to console games, but you'll have the ability to play, titles from your Steam catalog.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. It's a new era, as we talked about, and I think that's where we'll leave it here for this episode. But this is a new era, and it's going to look different.
Yeah.
I think some things are going to stay the same.
It'll be exciting to see what the future holds, for better or for worse.
Right. Yeah. So please, Halo,
please.
Don't let us down.
Please.
I beg of you.